All right, let's get right into it. The European Union has just made a massive move on AI regulation. And trust me, this is something that's going to send ripples across the entire planet. Yeah, that's not just a catchy headline, it's the reality we're looking at. The EU AI Act is making waves because Europe is finalizing the world's first ever all-encompassing law for artificial intelligence. But here's the real twist, and the whole reason we're talking about this today. We have this huge landmark law, but before the ink is even dry, there's already a major effort to change it. So what is going on? Let's unpack it. Okay, so first things first, what is the AI Act? Well, think of it as this super ambitious, human-first approach to controlling a technology it's changing our world faster than we can keep up. The whole idea here is to find that perfect balance. The EU wants to encourage innovation, they want to be a player in the AI space, but not if it means sacrificing our fundamental rights, our safety, or our trust in the system. It's a real tightrope walk between progress and protection. So how are they going to pull this off? Well, the core of the law is this idea of classifying AI systems based on their level of risk. Different risks get different rules. Let's take a look at how that breaks down. The heart of the AI Act is really this pyramid. It's pretty straightforward. The higher up the pyramid you go, the higher the risk an AI system poses, and the tougher the rules get. It's all about being proportional. Right at the very top, the peak of the pyramid, you have the stuff that is completely banned. We're talking about things the EU sees as a direct threat to our rights, like a social scoring system run by the government, or AI designed to manipulate you in harmful ways. Just nope. Completely off the table. Now, one step down, you get to the high-risk category, and this is where the regulation really gets serious. If an AI is being used in something critical, like hiring for a job, diagnosing a medical condition, or running our power grids, it's going to face some incredibly strict requirements before it ever sees the light of day. But what's really interesting is that most AI systems, the spam filter in your email, a simple customer service chatbot, they fall into these bottom two tiers. And for them, the rules are way lighter. It's often just about being transparent, like putting a label on AI-generated images or telling you when you're talking to a bot. So there you have it, a nice, neat, risk-based system. Sounds great on paper, right? But as we all know, there can be a huge gap between a plan and, reality. And that is exactly what started to happen. The original plan was to roll this out slowly, over several years. Different pieces of the law would click into place bit by bit, giving everyone plenty of time to get ready before the whole thing went live in 2027. Yeah, that smooth rollout, it hit some serious bumps in the road, almost right away. The ambitious plan started to clash with some very real-world problems. So what went wrong? Well, for one, the technical standards that companies needed to actually comply with the law were delayed. Businesses, especially the smaller ones, started realizing the cost and the paperwork were going to be way more than they expected. And then this huge question started to hang in the air. Is this regulation going to accidentally kill Europe's ability to compete in the global AI race? So, facing all these challenges, the European Commission decided it needed to, let's say, recalibrate. They proposed a whole package of changes, which has this fancy name, the Digital Omnibus on AI. The official goal here is to simplify things. It's basically an attempt to fix those problems, make the law easier to follow and more friendly to innovation, all while, they claim, keeping its main goals intact. And you better believe there's a big financial reason for this. The Commission thinks these changes could save businesses almost 430 million euros every single year. That's a number that gets people's attention. So what are the actual changes? Well, there are three big ones. First, they're pushing back the deadline for those super strict high-risk rules. Second, they're saying it's not on individual companies anymore to make sure their staff are AI literate. And third, they're simplifying the registration process to cut down on paperwork. As you can probably guess, these proposed changes have kicked off a massive debate. Is this a smart, practical fix? Or is it a dangerous step backward that weakens a really important law? You basically have two camps. On one side, you've got industry and business groups, and they are pretty happy about this. They see it as a way to cut costs and innovate faster. But on the other side, you have civil society and consumer groups, and they are sounding a major alarm, warning that this is watering down essential protections for all of us. And this quote from Joshua Franco over at Amnesty Tech, Wow, it really captures the core of that fear. The worry is that in the rush to make things simpler, the very safeguards that were designed to protect people are getting stripped away before they've even had a chance to work. And this is why this whole story matters to you no matter where you live. The EU is such a massive market that global tech companies will have to build their AI to meet these European standards. So what happens in Brussels definitely does not stay in Brussels. It basically sets the global blueprint for AI. Which brings us to the final billion-dollar question. Can the EU actually walk this tightrope? Can it create rules that truly protect people while also allowing for a world-class competitive AI industry to grow? The answer is going to shape the future of AI, not just for Europe, but for the entire world. Follow Trend Pulse for daily global trends. Explain.